Hey guys, welcome to a new 3 with Gino. Sorry, it's been another long, weird, disturbed week in different ways. I haven't been able to do many shows I wanted. I don't know why it is. My shows have not been as frequent as they have been. Um, Today we're just going to be doing a recap of what just happened on Raw, and unfortunately, I think we may have seen um some screams. I'm not going to be able to get out of my head for a while. I know there's some people on the internet that are celebrating that, and that is sad on you guys. And there's some people that are plot thinking it was part of the story. That wasn't part of the story. That was just a missed shot. And if you heard those screams, you know that wasn't part of the story. She just mistimed drop kick, and yeah, we'll talk about it when we talk about it because I can't get those screams out of my head right now. It kind of reminded me of when Keegan Knox, aka Nixon Newell, blew out a knee for the second time. But we'll start off Raw. Rock started off Braun Breaker and his crew. Excuse me. Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins showing up to the arena with destruction of Jey Uso on their mind. That did not actually happen. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think Jey may have been hurt. Nobody noticed. So unfortunately, I think the fear of everyone wrestling fan might happen. I think Jey may be dropping his title at Saturday Night Main Event because I think Jey legitimately got hurt out of Raw today. There's one or two times the referee was talking to him like he was legitimately hurt. I think he either hurt his knee or his back or something. But I think Jey got hurt today. But also, we had the returning Kyrie saying, yep, after not wrestling since December, she was going to be wrestling, and she was wrestling in a match to qualify for the Money in the Bank. So I guess this is what happens when you have one coffee in a day. Um, but yeah, let's start off right away at Penta and AJ Styles versus what is remained of the Judgment Day, because I'm pretty sure one of these guys will not be in the Judgment Day in a few weeks, and we'll talk about why later on. But it was Judgment Day represented by Finn Balor and AJ. His protege, JD McDonough. And tag team match, very good match, a lot of back and forth action, probably one of the best tag team matches you're gonna see in a while. I wouldn't mind AJ and Penta being a tag team. Excuse me, guys, I keep yelling, but I think at some point we're gonna get the Lucha Brothers back together, fighting at probably Worlds Collide versus Chad Gable and tag team partner of his choosing in a couple of weeks. Because those of you that don't know, the Lucha Brothers are pretty much most famous from AAA. Um, Surprisingly, it was Penta actually took the pin in this match. I figured it would be AJ Styles, but Penta actually takes the coup de grace, gets pinned. Very good match. Shooting outside interference from, of course, El Grande Americano, aka Chad Gable. That is Gable. No, it's not. But yes, Chad Gable headbutts him with the steel plate mask, and Finn Balor cheats and wins. Following that, we had our first of two women's qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. It was Becky Lynch, Natalia, and the newly signed to Raw, Roxanne Perez. Also, for these that don't know, Live Under Rock, Julia is now part of SmackDown. And I think there's a little bit more sprinkling that this is my personal theory. We'll talk about SmackDown this Friday because we've talked about it in a while. But there's a story between Charlotte and Alexa, and everyone is convinced Alexa's going to join the White Six, and Charlotte looks like she's playing the part of the Miz, but for females, because Charlotte's just completely avoiding Alexa and telling Alexa she wants nothing to do with her, and that she was never good to her, and Alexa's not a good person, neither Charlotte, blah blah blah. But yeah, I think we're getting a Miz version, but for women. With the White Six. Excuse me, guys. But I thought Roxanne was definitely in this match take the pin because she hasn't won fuck all in a long time. But the moon is the goal for this girl because, like I've been saying for many many years, not just on this podcast, because people just now realize on this podcast, but all my friends that are wrestling friends, I've been telling for years this girl's gonna be something special, man. And she great match. Natalia does not get the respect she deserves at all. That girl is so fucking good. That makes a lot of sense being Bret Hart's niece. And Stu Hart's niece and Stu Hart's granddaughter and Hart's niece, Jim's daughter. People don't realize how good Jim Neidhart actually was. Um, but like I said, very good match. The crowd she got this is awesome match. Like 5 minutes into this match, very good storytelling. At one point, to tell you actually it's a double sharpshooter, not stacked on top of each other. But Roxanne and Becky Lynch both side by side and sharpshooters. And that was a pretty cool spot. Roxanne is a really cool spot where she does the pop rocks going off of Becky's left back and hitting a pop rocks onto Natalia, who German suplexes Becky in the process. Like I said, Natalia's so. I knew at some point that Lyra's going to get involved and cause Becky to lose this match. She does. And Roxanne's pop rocks are nowhere. They're kind of sloppy, but at the same time, very good. I don't think Natalia expected to happen the way it did, and they kind of went down weird, but Roxanne pins Natalia. I think Natalia should start to take pins from now on. And if you those of you that don't know, Natalia FBM match this weekend at the Crockett Cup versus the NWA Women's Champion. I can't remember her name, unfortunately, off the top of my head. I will look that up. I'll let you guys know. But apparently, it's an absolutely incredible match. And like I said, I'm not surprised with Natalia. That girl's just so very, very good. Um, Following that, if I'm not mistaken, I actually believe we had more teasing of A-Town Down Under about to break up because it was Sheamus versus Seth versus. Oh, sorry, we had a backstage segment was just kind of weird with Jay Uso and Paul Heyman, and very interesting story plan Steve's be planted there. I also forgot to mention we had Logan Paul in the ring with Gunther. I forgot to mention it because I refuse to mention many things Logan Paul. So yeah, we're just saying Gunther versus some random dude because I don't have any plan to ever acknowledge that man. Hmm. They made Seth Rollins versus that same mysterious ghost in the backstage interview. And we find out next week we're getting Tozawa versus Rusev and the triple threat for the tag team titles. American Made versus the War Raiders versus New Day. And then we got Grayson Waller versus Sheamus. And this is where even more of the seeds were planted that we may be seeing an A-Town Down Under breakup because every single time Sheamus did anything to Grayson Waller, you could look at Austin Theory on the outside and you could tell the man was clearly enjoying everything that was happening to his supposed partner, friend, Grayson Waller, as he just got absolutely obliterated at points in this match, bringing Sheamus. And at one point, the finish came. Grayson Waller tried to run away, and Austin Theory wouldn't let him. Went to 10 bounce with a battery, and then the bro kick, and the whole time Austin Theory's on the back, going, well, me, I did nothing. I did nothing to this guy. And Mike was planting little seeds that they were still having fallouts, and eventually this was going to lead to something, and we'll see what happens. And if I'm not mistaken, immediately following that, we had our. This is something you're not going to want to. Unfortunate. I don't know who's at fault. I don't know what happened. I don't know how they got the timing wrong. But if you haven't seen the videos already circulating the internet, Zoey Stark, sorry, who I'm a fan of. I've been saying for a long time. I love the work she did with Trish. I love how she went heel on her own. Her PSC stuff was very, very missed because none of it made any sense. But that girl's so very good in the ring. She's already messed up her knee once, and I think this one might be worse. Um, Zoe Stark versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, and I'd say about 45 seconds into this match. There's a weird spot where we're starting at Io Sky, Kyrie saying you can tell Kyrie still doesn't have her ring timing back properly. She goes to push Rhea Ripley out of the ring, turns around, and you can hear Zoe screaming, Kyrie! And then lands, and away she lands. It just, her knee's not supposed to bend that way. Um, all I can say is speedy recovery. I'm pretty sure she was in that match solely to take the pin anyways, even though she is so extremely talented, she should be doing that. This girl's so athletic for her body type, let's put it that way. She's not a big girl, but she's a muscular girl. but she's just so very athletic and has more charisma in her body. You can tell just by the look on her face than 90% of the girls in the crew in the locker. And you can tell by Rhea's reaction the minute she got in the ring, it was not good. Just look in her eyes, she was trying not to look concerned. But I, I'm gonna tell people don't go watch it because the hell of a poon that come out of this girl's body and mouth. I don't know if it's storyline. If it's storyline, it got everyone. But the fact that she had to be carried to the back by the by the ring announcer, I sorry, not the ring announcer, the doctor, and you can hear it pounding on the ring steps, and the fact that they legitimately stopped the match and pulled every camera away from the ring. Usually, if that's a story, they're going to the person's going to be able to come back at some point during that match. I think this might be the last time we ever see Zoey Stark in WWE ring, unfortunately, due to the fact that it's the second time in, what, 5 years she's had a bad knee injury. And this one was, this is like maybe knee brace for life bad. It just did not look, I don't know if she did everything in the knee, but it didn't. The way she landed, did not look right. If you go find still photos, the video doesn't know justice. It happens way too quick. But if you find the still photo, it looks like it's a triangle that inverts back into an L and into a triangle. If that makes sense, that's what it looks like. It is all I'm gonna say is speedy recovery and prayers and thoughts to Zoey because I don't know what else to say. Like I'm still in shock seeing that happen. I know we only have about 25-ish minutes ago. But just seeing that, knowing that might just ended somebody's career, at least somebody's career with that company, because they're gonna pay for the surgery. You know that they have to. They don't have to. They're going to because they are. But that's gonna be a long recovery. And she's not a Mania anyways. But even if she was, and they were gonna attempt to give her a push, she's missing next year's Mania for sure. That was just, yeah, that was Um, and for the people that are on the internet talking shit about saying that's karma for when you cost Dakota Kai time due to that injury, and you're evil people. Sorry, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, that is just speedy recovery to Zoe. That's all I'm gonna say. And thoughts and prayers. I know she didn't die, but that was very, very hard to watch. Very, just the screams that came out of her. I didn't think a human could make the noise that she was making, but smart WWE so they realized it was legitimate, that they pulled those cameras right so you couldn't hear or see anything unless you're probably in the crowd or in the arena or in the ring. You could tell those girls were shook for a little bit. Kyrie even tried to sell the drop kick for a minute, then realized, oh no, this she actually did miss me. And Rhea was just in the corner thinking, what the hell just happened? You could tell on her face. And you could tell they were winning the rest of that match on by the fly. Yeah, I'm actually kind of cool. I think Gino's gonna win Money in the Bank. Rhea's winning Money in the Bank. But I don't think Kyrie was the person who was supposed to take the pin, unfortunately, which is a double-edged sword. The fact that she got injured, I think, is always them taking the pin. And for those of you who actually want to talk shit about Zoe Stark, tell me anybody has a cool, one of the more cool finishing moves in wrestling than Zoe Stark. That rotated 360 knee to the face that she does, the Z360, that is such a very cool move. Um, I would like to say more about this match, but unfortunately, the match itself was good, but unfortunately, that's what everyone's going to remember from this match. I feel so sorry for Zoe and those two girls that were in that match that they had to come up with something different on the fly, I wouldn't say, but the fact that they had to watch one of their friends legitimately just go down and probably destroy every single thing in her leg with that, and have that happen in front of that crowd in her first match on TV in God knows how long, because she's been over on X. WWE just completely dropped the ball as they tried so many times. But unfortunate incident. And then we had Jey Uso and Braun Breaker for the main event. Decent. I thought they would have let Braun absolutely destroy Jay. due to the fact that they were selling the fact that Jay's gonna actually be able to undo nothing and he was having no help and Braun was coming in to absolutely murder this man. These two guys had great chemistry together, good story. I like how, like I said, I think we may see Jay actually get injured a little bit because I think Braun missed on that jump he does, and I think something happened to Jay's knee. You see him grab it immediately after that happens. I might have to go back and rewatch the video. I think he might have been selling, but I don't know. Um, but like, yeah, you can see I'm still kind of distracted and concerned by what happened to Zoe. I don't know. I'm hoping it's a story just for her. Like I said, I'm a fan, I'm not a big fan, but I'm a fan of the girl. She's talented and she deserves to actually be given a shot now that both her friends are both gone. But I have big concern that was, yeah, I think she's done. That was not good. Just type her name on X or go look on Instagram and you'll see. And you guys tell me what you think in the comments below because I don't, that didn't look good. CM Punk and Sami Zayn come out to make the save after Jay gets the hell beat out of him for a little bit, and you could tell that Jay was kind of fucked up because he was just laying there grabbing at his knee. But these two guys were all brawling around him, and the referee's protecting Jason. Nobody was going near him, and you could see the guy saw Jay on the ground, so they tried to scoot around him so he could get help. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, or if they didn't want us to, or if it was just him selling so they could get their stuff in. It was just a very kind of, I don't know if the word is meh, but it was not a memorable Raw. Like, I'm gonna give if I was to grade the matches, the Gold Plus Plus is gonna go to Penta and AJ, of course. Gold Plus Plus is gonna go to the first women's qualifying match, even the ladder round made sense. And then after that, it just seemed like it was weird after that. And then a couple misplaced segments, I think. The Judgment Day, sorry, I forgot to mention there was that Judgment Day segment where Roxanne Perez was introduced to the Judgment Day, and they're all fearing what Liv was gonna think, and you could see in Finn's eyes he had something brewing, like I don't give a shit what Liv thinks, and he was looking at JD. So I have a weird feeling that Finn and JD are going to turn on the rest of Judgment Day and going to start a new faction with Roxanne and one other girl. I don't know what's going to be yet. But Finn's theory is since they have JD and Carlito to end himself to back up Dominic, make sure he doesn't lose his Intercontinental title. Why not have somebody like Roxanne coming to protect the women's tag team titles with Liv and Raquel? And you can tell Raquel was not into this right away. It was Dominic. She kept saying, "What about Liv?" We're gonna wait till Liv finds out about this. And all Finn said was, "Who cares about Liv?" And remember, Finn was the guy that brought Liv in. I have a theory in the back of my head. I think Finn and Liv have been fucking Judgment Day for a long time, and Finn and Liv are gonna leave together, and Roxanne's gonna go with them. I think Roxanne and Finn, I mean Finn and Liv have been playing the Judgment Day for a while now. Excuse me, guys. Um, I like that segment. For me personally, the way it worked, I'm gonna give that a goal. And the unfortunate, just the Kyrie's return is going to get a goal because she fought back. But we had Tyree celebrating thing, but who cares? Makes no sense. So I'm not even acknowledging it. Logan Paul, everything Logan Paul gets from negative bronze. This Sheamus and Grayson Waller match is going to get a silver. That women's match, to be honest with you, I completely forgot it happened after that incident. I just was watching, but not watching. I was like, autopilot, that makes sense. I'm going to give that a silver just because those girls were able to continue after what happened. Um, Overall, Raw in general, I think I'm going to give it a silver. I just didn't seem like it was a Raw that you'll remember, if that makes sense. But on that note, guys, I'm going to head out of here, and we talk again later this week. If you want to leave a comment below, you're more than likely welcome to. To everybody in Canada, happy finish the long weekend of Victoria Day. And we'll talk to you guys in a few days.